Some people don't think anything of it at all, I bet. They just try and stay out of my way and not hit me. And other people probably hate me. I have people honk their horns when they're 5 feet behind me. That does a lot of good. I've had people flip me off for no reason. I've had people honk their horn to call attention to me from 75 feet away across a highway, and when I looked over, they flipped me off. I wasn't aware that I was the source of their problems. I've had people yell out the passenger side when they got right next to me as they're roaring past, something very loud and unintelligible. And I don't know what inspires them to do that. Fortunately, most people don't do it. It's a small percentage. Maybe they're just advertising that their parents are first cousins. My name is Tim Wright. I'm a middle-aged craftsman who rides a bicycle. Some people see someone on a bike and they just react like, "You're on my road. What are you doing on my road? Get off of my road." I think it's our road. About a third of the women you talk to, when you tell them you've never owned a car, they look at you like you just told them you have syphilis. I entertained owning a car at one point, but right about then the first Arab oil crisis came in, and that kind of dissuaded me. Also, when you're using a bike, it's good for you. It's healthy. It's making you strong. When you're driving a car, you're getting fat and lazy and you're listening to Rush Limbaugh. I like tools, and knives are one of the more interesting tools there are. They're also one of the first tools humans ever had. I don't think of knives as weapons. I guess they could be used that way, but I've never thought in those terms. To me, they're just cutting tools. I like tools in general, and knives are one of the more interesting tools there are. And they're fun to make. They're also demanding to make. Steel is an unforgiving material. It's hard to shape. It's hard to polish. It shows up flaws easily, and it's hard to make them go away. If you're making anything, the key to making it well has to do with asking one question: what is the nature of what I'm making? So if you're making a knife, well, a knife is a tool. It's held with the hands. What does that mean? Well, it means it has to be comfortable in the hands. Comfortable in what way? Is the knife twisted in a certain way? Does it require purchase besides just comfort? Is it being used upside down? Does the knife have a point? If it does have a point, how long is the blade? Is the point important? It goes on and on and on. The next thing you know, you'll have 50 questions that have to be answered and have to be addressed. And then they're also interrelated to each other. So one answer may affect another question in a negative way, and you have to balance that out. So this simple object, a knife, suddenly isn't so simple. I think I said earlier, knives are a bit like a democracy. They require regular care and maintenance to function properly. You can't really take them for granted, although most people do. It's not an easy tool. There's an instinct that we all have, or almost all of us, to follow the easiest path, the easiest immediate path. We're not entirely logical. We don't frequently, humanity I mean, connect the dots. We don't understand how the implications of our actions. We don't think ahead. We don't think about what's going into a landfill because we never see a landfill. It's not in our backyard. I don't think I've ever seen a landfill, honest to God. Maybe once or twice I've driven past one with somebody. I can't even remember where it was. And I don't know, there's just this tendency to go along. Like if a lot of people watch television and there are ads, for example, that manipulate people a certain way, a lot of people go along with it. They don't ask a lot of critical questions, which can yield bad results. That's why we have so many SUVs. The car companies figured out it was very profitable to make these things. They're gas guzzlers, but they didn't have the same emissions regulations, and they could convince people that they needed these things, and then everybody buys them without once just sitting back and asking a few hard questions. Do I need this thing? Come on. So I don't know where this kind of group thing comes along, but I think it's important never to let anybody else do your thinking for you, because there are always people that have an interest in getting you to delegate the thinking to them, because they have something to gain from it. It's all economics. It's chicken shit and it's cruel, but we keep doing it. And the average person driving an SUV never sees that connection. I thought after 9/11 we would I honestly thought we would start using less oil, drive smaller cars. The opposite happened. Of course, we have a president who didn't believe what I believe, so he wasn't going to push that. I'm not a political philosopher. I believe that you try and live your life a certain way. You try and be aware that you're one of 6 billion people, and that doesn't mean you make that much of a difference, but you make some difference. It may not even be measurable with the meter, but you do what you can. And hopefully your example will affect other people. They'll see it and maybe learn something from it, just as you will learn things from other people's examples. I don't own a car for a variety of reasons relating to health, environmental, and political issues.
And how long have you done that?
All my life. I've never owned a car.
Your whole life?
Yeah. I have a driver's license. I'm not totally against cars. I'm against the way they're used. I'm against people using a car for a 3/4 of a mile trip to get a bag of groceries.
Very good. Thank you.